From the restructuring of the Big Ten and the Pac-12 to the decision by one of college football's greatest coaches to retire, the sport has undergone some major changes recently. There's also the impact of NIL endorsements and the transfer portal. Two of the country's top sports journalists tackle it all and more in their new book, The Price, What It Takes to Win in College Football's Era of Chaos. Armen Keteyian and John Talty join me now. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Pat.
How's it going?
Hey, you know, I've talked to other people who've kind of written about maybe a little bit more of a narrow focus on just NIL, but, you know, it was kind of a broader scope of college football. And the term that always gets tossed around whenever we talk about it is the wild, wild west. That's what college football seems to have become. And there was no taming the Wild West, right? There was no fixing that. How do you kind of get some control over everything that's going on right now? Because it feels so chaotic.
Well, I think you don't have any control right now, Pat. It's basically, it is the wild, wild west. The NIL scene is very opaque. There's very little transparency. The NCAA enforcement staff, which we talked to in our book, they have their hands tied behind them. So if you're looking into the crystal ball right now, it's pretty hazy. I don't think anybody has a clear understanding of what the future looks like.
Can you guys give people who are watching kind of a better understanding of how this whole system works? I mean, you know, you hear stories of, you know, college coaches saying, hey, listen, no, we're playing games now. I don't want to hear from your agents. I don't want to hear from this. I don't want this guy demanding money. And I'm not sure people really understand how much money is exchanging hands in college football right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's tens of millions of dollars. You know, I think at the top end, Ohio State has talked about how they spent more than $20 million on this year's roster. So there's a significant amount of money. And I think, you know, to your point, Pat, you know, why coaches have made that point is that it's unregulated. There's no contracts. It's not like, you know, you're going to have a guy for 2 years and you can say, hey, play the games and we'll renegotiate at the end of the year. You know, there's an opportunity for these guys to leave at various different points, including during the season in the December transfer portal window. So I think there's just a lot of different challenges in that regard, and there's the frustration that we've seen. But there's a significant amount of money, and it says, to Armen, you know, made the point, it's opaque. There's not a lot of clarity, and so a lot of it's done in the shadows still, even though, you know, more of it is legal now.
And I think, Pat, there's a reason the book is called The Price, because as you mentioned and John just said, there's tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars if you talk about the ESPN contract for the upcoming college football playoffs. But it's not just the financial price that people are paying. It's the emotional and the psychological and the physical toll that's being taken on everybody that has a love for this game, from college presidents down to the compliance staffs, down to everybody. And it's just, it's wearing people out at this point in time. And there really isn't any clear understanding of what the framework is going to be for any kind of solution down the line.
You talk about the toll it takes, and, you know, I don't think anybody's crying for Nick Saban, but it was probably one of the reasons that he, you know, retired when he did. And I wonder if you think this will cut down on the career span of coaches now in college football, being how much the demands have gotten so much greater.
Absolutely. And, you know, I've talked to people that know Kirby Smart really well, and they've all told me he is not going to coach as long as Nick Saban did, that the demands of this current college football ecosystem are too great, that the burnout will be too strong. So, you know, right now he's the best coach in college football, and to hear that there's not a likely chance for him to make it into his 70s, I think speaks to, you know, what's happening within college football. But yeah, you hear from coaches all the time that are, maybe I should do TV. Maybe I should go to the NFL, whatever it might be. It's harder and harder to imagine a deep run, whether it was Nick Saban or even before him, Bobby Bowden, who made it into their 80s.
Yeah.
And I think, Pat, if you look at the state of the game, you're a picture of Nick up there. Nick had lost the one thing that was the essence of his program, and that was control over the process and the development of his players. And then on the other hand, you have Jim Harbaugh, who was caught between a school that he absolutely loves and a situation at Michigan that we detail, and an enforcement process that he absolutely hated. So in the end, two of the singular figures in college football are no longer in the game. Nick retiring and Jim now coaching, obviously, the Chargers in Los Angeles. That speaks volumes as to the kind of difficulties and the kind of pressures that these coaches are under right now.
Yeah, it is a fascinating time in college football for sure. The book is The Price: What It Takes to Win in College Football's Era of Chaos. You can also follow Armin and John on X. Hey, thank you both for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Pat.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate you.